One thing, if you heard Mr. Trump yesterday, as we all did, I mean, it was a speech without really any plan, right? I mean, so that is essentially what is so disconcerting about the whole thing.
Yeah.
He launched into, early on in his speech, he launched into the pharma space.
Yeah.
Remember, it wasn't in response to a question somebody asked. I mean, he just started off and he kind of picked up on pharma as he went along, right? I mean, so, I mean, it was a plan, or some would say a policy made on the fly. I mean, he just picked up on something and sort of went on. So, and in response to that, you saw what happened overnight. In response to that, you're seeing what's happening right now here. So, you know, it's quite incredible the impact this is having on markets around the world. You know, we'll discuss this in more detail, and we'll discuss pharma in much greater detail. If you can put up Sun Pharma, please, or maybe a couple of other pharmaceutical companies. One important thing, and I think you've been making that point as well, what Mr. Trump is referring to in the pharma bidding, tendering, etc., is the US government policies, right? Like Medicaid, etc., right? Which is policies the government provides for the poor in America.
Yeah.
That the government doesn't administer directly. Right? There he's saying, let the government get in. Experts have been saying, you get the government into anything, it becomes suboptimal. So, that's all that he's saying. I mean, so this is for, as we were talking about in the morning, innovators more than anything else. So, but you know, the markets are markets, and they worry that something more is going to come. But there was one thing in that speech which I thought stood out. He said he invited the reporters back to his, back to the White House in the first week. He said there'll be lots of signings. And this is something we were talking about earlier. I mean, he's essentially referring to a lot of executive orders he's going to sign off on in the first 1 week of his taking power. A lot of the proposals would already be actually ready on his table for him to sign as soon as he takes charge. These would be in the nature of executive orders. So, I mean, I think for the next 10 days or so, I mean, his inauguration, a week after the inauguration, it's all essentially focused there for at least the two big sectors, pharma and IT.
Yes, absolutely. And who can forget what's happening to the Mexican peso? I think it reacts more to the word wall than to anything else nowadays. But nonetheless, let's get talking technicals on the